Sorry, hi everyone. Let me check the system first. Okay, how are you doing today? I'm very delighted to be here to spend with you in the next 25 minutes to kind of share some insights regarding the data-driven customer experience design from the KPMG consulting perspective. First of all, before I jump into the presentation, let me quickly introduce myself. Okay, so I am working for KPMG Customer Experience Consulting in Vietnam and Cambodia. And I had kind of like background in operations as well, but right now my passion is customer experience management. And I had work experience in e-commerce. My last role in e-commerce was the head of customer experience. And right now I'm consulting with clients in different sectors in Vietnam and Cambodia to help them to build the customer experience strategy to get the most benefits from the Voice of Customer program. And last but not least, help to design the future state customer experience to help deliver the best of the results. Okay, so the agenda for today, let's talk about how do the companies look at CX nowadays, and then we will talk about, okay, what is CX excellence and how to approach that. And last but not least, the role of the technology in helping driving the CX excellence. Okay, so talking about how do the companies look at CX nowadays. Let me share some of the data that KPMG acquired from the survey leaders that we do yearly for our CEO Outlook Asia Pacific 2022. Despite the geopolitical and economic struggles that we are experiencing, the leaders in the ASPAC region are still quite relatively confident in the business growth. They are less concerned about the recessions that could happen compared to other companies in the rest of the world. However, they understand that the recessions could impact negatively in the business growth in the next 3 years. So that's why they started to do some kind of like short-term actions, such as freezing the hires, downsizing the workforce, reconsider the investment decision, etc. And in the long term, they already started to have the plan to attract and retain the specialized talents. And also they are considering the investment in technology. So talking about the technology, right? So digital transformation was agreed by 57% of the leaders in this survey as the driving force to attract the talents and also compete for the customers. So the strategy for digital transformation, according to the CEOs in the ASPAC region, will have the impact in the organization in the next 3 years. And however, there are certain challenges in terms of like digital transformation, such as how to choose the right technology, how to kind of like enable, equip the internal teams in the organization to utilize the best of the digital solutions delivered to them. Also, in the Gartner research, globally, we have seen 89% of the CEOs agree that competing in customer experience is vital key for the success, because they understand that in the long term, in this competitive market, right, customer experience is and will deliver the business result for the companies. And 52% in the KPMG International CEO Outlook also have shown that 52% of them already align the middle and back processes to enable a more customer-centric approach in their organization. So to sum up, right? So customer experience is the driving force for the long-term sustainable growth for the business alongside with digital transformation. Okay, let's talk now about what is customer experience excellence, right? So nowadays the customers are better informed and they are more demanding than ever before. So the organization who wants to have a sustainable business in the long run understand this, and they will put the customers at the center of the decisions. So that means that the processes in the organization from front to middle and back office really aligned. And the people in the organization and also the business partners, right, they will work together to meet the customers effectively and also profitably in their terms. So on the diagram on the left, that you will see every forces in the business ecosystem will need to be tracked, measured, transformed with the customers at the heart. And additionally, KPMG, we did have a commission study done by Forrester Consulting with a professional who involved in the customer centricity strategy decision. And they found there are 8 capabilities of the organization who very succeed in the customer experience excellence and also success in their digital transformation journey. The first capabilities is insight-driven strategies and actions. That means they have the capability to harness the data, to use the advanced data analytics to turn the data into the insights, to help the business making real-time informed decision. So some of the questions need to be considered here. So do the business have the 360-degree view of the customer or not? And do you have the policies to have govern the data and also consider the data privacy? The second capability is innovative products and services, right? This is the ability of the business to deliver compelling value proposition for the customer in price, in products, in services. The question here, so when you design the products and services, do you leverage the understanding of the customers or not? And in your product planning, right, do you consider the value that you will deliver to your customers and also the value to your organization? Balance it out, okay? And also, the third is experience centricity by design. So this means that when you design the seamless intentional experience for your customers, you also should consider the experience for your employees, for your business partners as well in an ecosystem. I often kind of have my favorite questions when I work with my clients. So in this part, when you design the experience, do you consider the inside in and outside in view as well? Or you just like consider the internal view in terms of like the current experience that the customers are having? And also, do you have the right metrics to measure the future state of the experience that you plan to deliver to your customers or not? The next is seamless interaction and e-commerce. This one is the ability to interact, to transact with your customers efficiently without friction. Responsive operation and supply chain is the way that you can conduct your business kind of like efficiently and with agility across the sales, marketing, and services. Align and empower workforce is okay, you cannot like do customer experience without your employees, right? So you have to consider the experience of your workforce and how you will build a customer-centric organization and the culture to empower your employees to work together to deliver a common goal of business of the customer experience excellence. So here's some of the questions should be considered. Do your employees understand what is CX? How to deliver CX? Do your companies have the trainings to train your employees to get the necessary skills? And also, do you have a compensation system in place to motivate the employees to work together that common goal or not? Digitally enabled technology architecture, so this is quite straightforward, right? So having the ability to kind of deliver support system and also have the platform technology to support the internal teams in a cost-effective and scalable way. Integrated partner and alliance ecosystem is a large part of the capability. So we need the business partners to work together with us to maybe have to speed up the speed to the market, or to optimize the cost, or to create the synergies to close the capability gaps that we already might have. In order to have this one, the management of the business partners from the beginning, the selection, to the onboarding, to the management of the performance of the business partners should be carefully crafted in order to ensure that you and your partners already work together a common goal and try to achieve it together. Okay, KPMG also have a research for customer experience, and after more than 10 years of research across the sectors around the world, we have formulated the DNA tool for the customer experience excellence. So these are the principles that can help you to design the customer journey. Okay, the first principle is personalization. So we have been hearing a lot about this nowadays, right? The customer really want to have an individualized customer experience in order to create a emotional connection with you. So with the advances in technology nowadays, right? You can deliver a a more human digital experience for the customer. But don't forget the human touch, a critical touch point in your customer journey, because that is also very important to create the emotional connection to your customers. And I want to mention personalization here. That means how you make the customer feel about themselves after the experience that they have with you. The next is integrity. So this one, how the customers see you and trust you. Nowadays, the customer really want to interact with the companies who clear about their corporate values, who participate in corporate social responsibilities, and also you have to deliver what you promise consistently. Additionally, with the development of e-commerce, it will raise some issues regarding the cybersecurity, personal data privacy. So your company should have the policy and process in place to manage these issues. Expectations is the third pillars. With this one, you have to really understand what the customer needs and wants in order to meet their expectation. But you can also use the support of technology in order to further delight the customer, exceed their expectation if you have a completely 360-degree view of the customers, and try to use technology like AI and ML to help you to personalize the experience for them. Resolution. This one is, it's okay to make a mistake, but how do you turn a poor experience to a great one is also important as well. So it's not about solving a customer service touch point issue, right? You have to look at the whole touch point in the customer journey in order to anticipate the pain that the customer might experience, in order to have initiative to solve in advance those pain points for the customers. Time and effort straightforward, making the process easier in order to have the customer to save time. And last one, and I think it's quite difficult to achieve this one, empathy, right? So the customer wants to have a real connection with a human. So we like to deal with human, and we want, if we have a problem, right? So how do you talk to me? How do you understand me? And how do you solve my problem and ensure that my problem will be solved? Okay, so I also would like to introduce about KPMG Customer Experience Excellence Report that we do yearly for Vietnam markets. So this one, we will survey the customers using a third party. to ask them to rank their experience with the brands in Vietnam markets if they have interaction in the last 6 months. So you can see the top brands in Vietnam with the highest like CE score there. And I want to highlight two parts that link to the six pillars that I mentioned before. The driving pillar of loyalty is personalization. And the driving pillar for advocacy, right, is the expectation for the customers. So ensure that you will kind of like pay attention to these pillars when you design the experience for your customers in the journey. Okay, so now let's talk about how to approach CX design. So KPMG, when we work with our clients, we will give them a framework, a visualization of how to approach the CX design. So the best way to do it is you have to consider customer experience along with the operating model and also the technology. So for the left, right, customer experience, okay, we usually start with the understanding of the customers, and we will develop the customer segmentation and persona. Map the customer journey out. I will mention about that in later slide in details. And from the understanding of the current state, you will design the future state, and you have to ensure that the UI and UX is also well. And during the step that you design the customer journey, consider what are the value that you want to deliver to your customers. And for the changes in the customer journey, consider what change could be done in the operating model. So usually have to consider how the CX is being governed in your organization. And you can do some analysis to benchmark the current processes of the model compared to other competitors in the markets. And consider what changes could be given the change in the journey that you design. So the processes, how to do the performance management, etc. And also, in order to develop the new journey, new processing, translate what changes into epic features and user stories for the developers to understand. So that's the operating model piece. And then going to the technology, right? So you have to consider holistically the technical architecture to support the journey and the process design. Also consider the technology for customer engagement along with the data strategy, and use technology to help you measure the CX performance, especially via the digital solutions. Okay, I talk about the segmentation, right? So KPMG will usually do the research, primary and also secondary research to understand the customer base in order to segment them into different segments. And we will align with our clients to align on the key segments to focus on, because understand that the resource of the organization is limited, so we have to put the attention to the right focus. And from the segment, we will design the customer personas for the key segments. So customer persona, will involve different aspects. And this one I need to mention. When we do the research, we use KPMG 5 lines in order to guide our research methodology. So 5 lines is the methodology we use to understand the customers from different views. So how the customers are being motivated into using the products and services, what are their behaviors and what are their expectations. What are the customer kind of like way to get their attention, and how to connect with the customers via different devices. and how the customers are considered their time and also their spending nowadays. So with this information, we can put together a detailed personas, which give us a view of who the customers are with some basic information like age, material status, etc. And also we can know their behaviors, their goals, their needs, what are the issues that they want to pay attention to. And this will help the organization to get into the mindset of the customer in order to build the relevant journeys. Also when we work in our client, we will also build the customer journey atlas. So this is an example for banking. So these are all the journeys that the customer can experience through the life cycle that they have with a banking company. And with this journey atlas, and we will use some kind of like benefit realization in order to prioritize the journey that we will deliver the future state with our clients. It could be the metrics related to revenue growth, maximizing the cost, or how to improve in the customer metrics like NPS or CSATs. Okay, so this is an example of the customer journey. Okay, after everything, right? The research and such, we will map into the current state of the customer journeys, which involve different layers. So this is a simple version. We use the KPMG discovery tool in order to build this map easily. The journey usually including different phases and different touch points. And when we conducted the research for the clients, we can also map out the emotional journey that they experience at different touch points. So it can be easily visualized where to focus our initiative on. And there are the layer of like moment of truth, which is okay for the customers, where at the customer journey, we should pay really attention to, because that will change the whole perspective of the customer regarding the experience that they have with the organization. And we also map out the 6 pillars, and if we but if we have initiatives already being done or plan to do with the client, we will map out the initiatives at the end. Okay, the last question is what is the role of the technology in helping the organization to drive the customer experience excellence? So customer experience excellence, so at the top, right? So use the 5 lines to understand the customer in different dimensions, and use the 6 pillars to finalize your design principles in order for you to come up with the future state of the customer journey. So consider end-to-end customer journeys. Underneath that, right, it should be a kind of like a data analytics workflow, from collecting the data to ingest to analyze and insights. So Nguyen already mentioned some of the information regarding the collection of data. Different types of data could be collected digitally and also in person. It could be considered using a CRM or CDP, depending on the kind of like maturity of the business. So CRM is being used traditionally for sales, marketing, and also service, in order to kind of like have enough information for those teams to interact and solve the customer problems, and also cross-sell and upsell. And with the CDP, it can do more. I think it's like kind of like involvement for the CRM. The CDP, you can collect also the behavior the customer already lives via the devices like app, right? And all of those data will be fit into the CDP, and CDP can do the integration to standardize the data, match the accounts, or create a new profile of the customers. do segmentation for you, and if the CCP is also integrated with AI and machine learning, it can make the recommendation for you to send engagement message to the customer in order to upsell and cross-sell easily. So I consider technology play a very important role in helping the organization make the customer experience that they desire into reality, and also continuously giving the insight in order for them to continuously involve the state of the customer experience. Okay, also technology architecture is important as well. So in KPMG, we do work with clients from different sectors, so we know what is kind of the best future state of the technology architecture. So KPMG Connected Enterprise is our approach to build a customer-centric organization and build in an agile way, so you can succeed in your digital transformation journey. So I'm not going to detail this. You can have a slide and take a look later. But this will show you the technology solutions spread across from the customers, the employees, to front office, to middle office, and also end with the back office. And underneath there is a data and also a system support all of those like technology solutions. Okay, so I think that's all for my presentation. Customer experience, I consider it as a competitive advantage that the organizations should invest on. But there are certain challenges. I think in Vietnam market, it's relatively new. It's getting traction in the past couple of years, I think 2 years. And there are demanded market for the talents to drive the customer experience in the organization, but it's not easy road. And also how to approach the customer experience is also important, because right now I think many organizations already pay attention to CX, but the efforts is being done in silos by project based. There is no holistic view of a customer experience strategy and how to collaborate together to deliver a common goal for the customer experience. So I think KPMG, we are at the position to help the companies to define the best way to move forward in the customer experience transformation journey. Thank you.